live. You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good to Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this. I want you to read. The California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. benefit of my online audience, I might have to repeat all the junk I just talked, y'all. All the smack I just talked, I might have to repeat it for the sake of y'all who couldn't hear me, who were on social media. I was talking junk. I know the Steelers lost, but it's still only about Steelers Nations, and I want all of y'all that are Cowboy fans, and yeah, I got sound now. Y'all can hear me. All of y'all Cowgirl fans, y'all Patriot fans, y'all various fans from other teams, Raven fans, all y'all just sit down and hush, okay? Just y'all just need to be quiet. Um, we're still in first place. We're still in first place. We're going to lock up the division next week against the Ravens, and that's all there is to that. Now, that's all the football talk we're going to talk on this show. Coming up after the break, my granddaughter's in the studio. There was a slight delay today for school, so I guess she's going to give me the weather or something. Yeah, she's gonna give me the weather, and we'll get into our conversation. So our conversation today, we saw in real time America celebrate the lynching of a black man, similar to what happened in the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, where white folks would take pictures up under swinging bodies from trees and smiling for the camera and making postcards out of them and bringing their kids out and roasting marshmallows and all of that stuff. Basically, that was the same thing that happened yesterday or Saturday when Donald Trump and J.D. Vance had Daniel Penny, the white man who murdered Jordan Neely on a New York City subway, when they had him in their suite at the Army-Navy game on display for the world to see, lauding him as a hero. That basically they were celebrating the lynching of a black man. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, whether you want to believe it or not. I'm going to play a clip from a sermon I preached yesterday that was entitled, "Be Careful How You Celebrate a Lynching." Be careful how you celebrate a lynching. You're on the air, young lady. 413-736-2781, 413-736-2781 is the number here. Do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Would love to shout out your city or your town. 413-736-2781. If you're in the Twitter space, put your requests in. We're going to have this conversation today. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air right now. Stay with us. Don't y'all dare go nowhere. We'll be right back. The essence of life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Reach a little higher, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher, come on, yeah. Dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Don't stop, come on, don't stop. The essence of life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Your life will never change until you get disgusted with where you are. Whatever you don't hate is what you tolerate. You must learn from the past, plan for the future, and live for today. For it is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life. It's the choices that you have made up until this point that will determine the rest of your life. So break the cycle that doing enough is simply good enough. You only get out what you put in, so don't settle for the crumbs when you can have the whole loaf. So push yourself beyond your limitations. Come on. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Don't stop. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Go a little further.
Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. So you gotta break the routine of trying to beat the system. Manipulators will always try to bypass the process for the quick progress. There are no shortcuts to success. There are no elevators to the top. You gotta take it one step at a time. You gotta break the routine of allowing others to get into your head to control who you are and where you're going. You see, when you're about the positive, you're gonna always have haters. But don't let your haters push you down, let your haters push you forward to the next level. So when people show you who they really are, don't perceive them to be something else that they're not. See, a zebra does not change his stripes. So you gotta keep pushing yourself to the next level. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Be a little zebra. Come on. Yeah. Go a little further. Go a little further. Don't stop. Come on. Don't stop. Come on. Yeah. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Be a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Go a little further. Don't stop. Come on. Come on. Come on. You got to understand the greatness is the nature that you were born out of. You'll never discover your greatness without hard work and dedication. Greatness says more about who you are and what you expect for yourself. And greatness will always attract greatness. Show me your friends and I'll show you the future. The future. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. Don't ever give up. Come on. You just a step away. You almost.
All right, rep your city, rep your town. Y'all not telling me if y'all can hear me.
You see, there's no mountain too high, no valley too low. You can go where you want to go. It's all in the power of your imagination. You can see the invisible. Do the impossible. So stretch yourself. Take yourself to the next level. Come on, come on, come on.
Mother Annie Beard, I see you.
Go a little deeper. Go a little further. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further.
All right, thank you. There's a blessing waiting on you. Oh. Around the corner, there's a blessing waiting on you. You gotta reach. You gotta reach. You gotta. Don't stop. All right, let me get the weather up in here. Let me get the weather. Pull the microphone down. Pull the microphone down. This is Driscoll Jr., y'all. Well, actually, it's Maya, but it's Driscoll's little girl, and well, she pretty much looks like Driscoll's twin, so that's Driscoll Jr. She's gonna give you the weather. What's happening?
So right now,
speak up. Speak into the microphone. Use your radio voice.
Right now, the weather is 30 degrees at 10. We're supposed to expect more snow, 35% chances. The highest we're supposed to get to today is 42 degrees. We have a 70% chance of rain, and we've already had light snow.
What about the rest of the week?
Tuesday, the lowest is supposed to be 36 degrees, highest 54. Wednesday, lowest of 31, highest of 45. Thursday, lowest of 25, high 40. Friday, 23, high of 31. And then Saturday, low of 16 and high of 29.
All right. What you love about school? You got to answer something. Come on. Get this, just so many things you just can't get it out, huh? No. Can't choose one. No. What you love about school?
My dance classes.
Your dance classes. What do you not like about school?
My reading teacher.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. I hope your reading teacher was not listening this morning. 413-736-2781. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
look in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from and hit, but it just made me stronger and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. I rose above that nonsense and made a liar of the devil. All right. The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love, I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love for me he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning. Welcome to another edition of The Spoken Word. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan the second. You got the weather. It is 15 minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. Again, I want to thank Elder Rick Robinson for bringing us up until the 9 o'clock hour with that good um, inspirational gospel music that we get every Monday morning. So keep it locked right here. Good morning to everybody from everywhere. Let's see who's in the house today. Come on, rep your city, rep your town. Pensacola, New Jersey is in here. Charlotte, North Carolina is up in here. Houston is up in the building. Chicago is in the building. Kansas City is in the building. Los Angeles, California is in the building. New York, New York City boss is in the. I always, whenever I see New York City, I go back to movie Life. Those people watch the movie Life, I think you'll understand that little reference. New York City boss, New York City. ATL is in the building. Union, New Jersey is in the building. Cincinnati, Ohio is in the building. Boston is in here. The 413 is in here. That could be anywhere, really. But hey, Orlando is up in here. All right, where y'all at? Where y'all at on the gram? Let me see. ATL is on the gram. Long Beach, California is on the gram. Quebec, Canada is on the gram. Orangeburg, South Carolina is in the building. Florida is here. Atlanta again is here. Another New York City boss is up in the building. Johannesburg, South Africa. Yes, I drink coffee. Yes, I drink coffee. Those who are asking. Yes. Counselor LeVar Click Bruce from Springfield, Massachusetts is in the building. Boynton Beach, Florida is up in the building. I'm jealous of Florida right now because we got snow and y'all got the sun. I just made back-to-back trips to Florida, one to Tampa and one to Orlando. So I'm a little bit jealous. 413-736-2781. You thought I was restricted from that slice of lemon pound cake. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. 413-736-2781. I ain't got nobody talking no football junk because all of my usual rivals can't talk no junk, even though the Steelers lost. The Patriot fans can't talk no junk. And they're usually the main ones talking smack, but they can't talk junk today. The Giant fans, y'all can't say nothing neither. Yeah. Where y'all at? Cowgirl fans, where y'all at? Anyway, let me stop. I said I was done. I was done with the football stuff. I was done. I'm gonna be done. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here. Listen, I got a piece out that I wrote that you need to read that deals with this foolery that happened on Saturday. It's a piece called Depravity in Broad Daylight, America's Celebration of a Modern Day Lynching. You can look that up, and or you can go to my social media and you can find it. But it's an important conversation when you have those that are coming into the highest offices in the land that are celebrating the lynching of a black man. It tells you the state that America is in. Okay? It lets you know the state that America is in right now. Let me see if I can find it. I want to pull up a clip from Sunday's sermon. I preached a message, be careful how you celebrate a lynching. Let's listen to a little bit of that and we'll get into our conversation. All right.
America has a legacy of racial violence. That's the reason they want to hide it from the textbooks in the classroom. They don't want little Billy and little Susie knowing what grandma and grandpa used to do to black people. They don't want them to know what their great grandparents used to do to black people. So they want to hide it from the textbooks. They want to hide the legacy, and they say we only want to teach things that are patriotic. Amen. We only want to teach things that paint America in a light that is the opposite of what it actually did. How in the world are you going to come to a land and commit genocide against 15 million indigenous people? How in the world are you going to capture and rape and murder and enslave millions of black people, drop 10 million of them off in the ocean on your way to America, and enslave them for generation upon generation, and then tell little children that we're going to erase all of that history and pretend that America is some altruistic, patriotic land, and we've got to make America great again. How the hell do you make a place great again when it was never great in the first place?
Well, yeah. Answer me that question. Solve me that riddle. How we gonna make America great again when it hasn't got to the point of greatness for so many millions that it murdered, lives that it ruined, families that it obstructed? What you mean make it great again? Again for who? Yeah. I know, y'all. Is she in here doing TikTok videos? Anyway, my granddaughter is distracting me. Go in the other room. See you later. Bye-bye. This is what happens when you bring a 13-year-old to the studio. 413-736-2781. Listen, this public celebration of Daniel Penny, who choked Jordan Neely to death, it exposes America's enduring depravity. Once again, it highlights the systemic racism that they want to pretend does not exist, that they want to extract from the history books in the schools. And remember now, the only reason Daniel Penny was ever charged with a crime was because of the public outrage after the police questioned him and then let him go. And you know, there is no place in America where I could choke a white man to death and the police let me walk away. I don't care what the circumstances were. There is no scenario where a black man could choke a white man to death and the police let him walk free. And so the only reason, hey baby girl, the only reason he was charged in the first place was because of the public outrage. But his acquittal was inevitable. It was inevitable. Because the way white America responds to white murderers tells you everything you need to know about America. When you have a white mass murderer, they say, oh, it was mental health. They excuse away the depravity of white mass shooters. When it's a vigilante, they excuse what he did and they make him into a hero. Whether it's a Kyle Rittenhouse, a George Zimmerman, or a Daniel Penny, they find a way to justify what they did, and then they find a way to criminalize the victim. They find a way to criminalize the victim, the black person, and to justify their own murder. And that's what they did in this particular case. You notice how mental health is an issue when there is a white mass murderer, but yet a black man with a history of mental health, it didn't matter to them. He was worthy of death. He was worthy of death. And of course, you know, whoever this white dude is in my comment section, saying he's an American hero, of course you would think that. Of course a white man would think that a white man who murders a black man is an American hero. That ain't nothing new. You ain't telling me nothing that we don't already know. You know, we saw that when Donald Trump and Daniel Penny invited him to attend the Army-Navy football game as their guest, because they were trying to signal the continuity between America's past and present. You know, it's no different than the lynchings of the late 19th and early 20th century. It represents America, and white America in particular, tacit approval and glorification of Black death. Because see, my brothers and sisters, Jordan Neely was not just a victim of a violent chokehold, but he was a victim of a culture that continually dehumanizes Black men, labels them as threats, that they're unworthy of empathy. His mental health crisis should have elicited care and compassion, but instead it provoked violence. And Daniel Penny was not a police officer. He had no right to put his hands on anybody. He assumed the role of an enforcer because this society has conditioned white folk to police and punish Black bodies. They think they have the right that their whiteness gives them the right to police black people. That's the reason you see videos going around where black people are at home in their own housing complex, and some white person will come up and ask them for ID. I need to verify that you belong here. No, the hell you don't. You need to mind your business. But this is what they do. This is what they do. There was a woman who took her children swimming, and a white woman got the guards and everybody, I need to see if your key works. I need to verify that you belong here. There was a black woman who was a student at Yale who was in one of the public spaces in the lounge reading a book, and she fell asleep. And some white student called security and harassed the woman, asking for ID, wanting to know if you belong here at Yale, because you don't look like you belong at Yale. America has conditioned white folk to think that we have to show our papers to them. Like, this is slavery days, and if we're traveling, we have to show our papers. Or like we're in apartheid South Africa, we got to prove that we have the right to move about the country. And so Daniel Penny felt completely authorized to do what he did. He felt completely authorized. And America has deputized white folk to think that they have the right to police black folks. And if black folk don't respond according to how they expect them to respond, then they call the police, knowing that the police are going to take their side. You had the scenario where a black man was walking his dog in a park, and the white woman called the police because this black man shouldn't be in this park. Remember a couple of years back when the black folks were out with their grill, cooking out, and Becky came along telling them they couldn't cook out? My question, why can't y'all mind y'all business? I want to know from my non-melanated brothers and sisters, how come y'all can't mind your business? How come black folk doing stuff that regular people do every day can't be done without y'all sticking your nose in their business? Y'all calling cops on black folk for sitting in Starbucks, for walking down the street, for having an outing in the park, for sitting in the lounge at their college. And this often leads to confrontations that lead to black death. And then white America justifies, celebrates the lynching of black people in incidents that could have been avoided had white folks just minded their business. Daniel Penny should have minded his business. If you've never looked at, there's a booklet out called Without Sanctuary. It chronicles lynchings in America. You need to get that and take a look at that. In the Jim Crow era, lynchings were public spectacles. They were literally accompanied by festivities where white families posed for photographs with the lifeless bodies of black men, women, and children. If you go to my Instagram right now, you'll see a side-by-side of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Daniel Penny, and a group of white folks with two black bodies swinging from a tree, took a photograph like that. It's the 1930 celebration of a lynching and the 2024 celebration of a lynching. They made it a festivity. They packed picnic baskets. They brought their children out to these events. And these events were more than executions. They were celebrations of white supremacy. They were sanctioned by law enforcement and the injustice system. And today, the tools of terror have evolved, but the spirit remains the same. The public endorsement of the president-elect and vice president-elect of Daniel Penny is the same twisted immorality where violence against black people is excused, rationalized, and celebrated. Him being at that game was a glorification and a direct affront to the so-called principles of freedom, justice, and equality that America claims to uphold. It exposes the hypocrisy of all of those who tout pro-life values while cheering Black death. One of the points I made in my sermon yesterday was you can't be pro-life and celebrate Black death at the same time. Okay? You can't claim to champion the sanctity of life and be morally bankrupt enough to defend what happened on that New York City subway. I don't understand how people of conscience can even, and I guess they're not people of conscience, because how do you reconcile an alleged commitment to life with the endorsement of a man who ended another man's life? How do you reconcile the two? Because they don't go together. And this public embrace, it wasn't just political. It wasn't just a tone-deaf political action. What Trump and Vance did was send a calculated message. And that message that they sent was that white vigilantes who take Black lives will be protected, celebrated, and elevated. This is not just racism in action. It's a dangerous signal to people who see Black bodies as expendable. It is going to embolden white folk to do exactly what Daniel Penny did. That we can take Black life and we can get away with it. And not only can we get away with it, we'll be celebrated at the highest levels of the American government. It's sick. America is sick. It is depraved. You can't claim to be a nation of justice and do this. This public celebration of a murderer is a reminder that we ain't that far removed from the picnic crowds under the lynching trees. And that was the point of my post, the 2024 versus the 1930, nearly 100 years apart. We ain't that far removed from the mentality of those 100 years ago. That their great grandchildren today have the same mentality that they had about black people 100 years ago. Because we see the same thing happening in America. A nation that is supposed to have this high moral ground. But we see this grotesque spectacle and celebration of a white man who choked a black man to death. It's sick. It's an echo of America's blood-soaked past that is live and in color in our very faces to this day. And what is a shame is the fact that we have to have conversations in 2024 that our great-grandparents were having in 1924. Many people migrated from the South to get away from public lynchings of black people. And yet we have it happening today. We have it happening today. Let me see, what do I need to do? Whitney, do me a favor and block this clown. Whoever he is. Free will farmer. Yeah, block that clown. You're not going to write paragraphs of your white supremacist foolery on my page. So we just going to block him. You know, I could care less about which one of you trolls get upset with me. Y'all ought to know by now. If you don't know, now you know. Okay? If you don't know, now you know. I ain't never scared of y'all. Ain't never scared of y'all. And don't really care what you think. Don't really care what you think. Oh yeah, let me do it. Bam, you on the block list. Bam. You know, and typical of what that commenter was saying, that we create scenarios of racism that don't exist. How the hell do we create racism? How do we create it? So here's their narrative, that people like me who expose their racism, who challenge them on their racism, who call them to the carpet on their racism, who speak truth to power about their racism, who confront their racism, who fight against their racism, we are the problem. It's not that their racism is the problem. It's the people who speak publicly about their racism that are the problem. Because if y'all niggas would just quiet down about our racism, everything would be okay and we can make America great again. But no, I ain't your boy like that. I ain't gonna be silent like that. There's some of us who gonna speak up and speak out. Period. But that's how they do. They twist it, and it's just like when they murder us. They murdered both in John, and the police, instead of raiding the home of the police officer who went into his house and murdered him, they raided his house and then announced that they found marijuana. Now, they don't made marijuana legal all over the country, but because they're trying to criminalize both in John, they're trying to justify Amber Geiger going into his home and murdering him. They decided, we're going to release this information that we found some weed in his house, because we're going to paint him as a drug head to justify his murder. That's what y'all do. That's what y'all do. You try to dehumanize black people to justify your inhumane actions. And we ain't falling for the okie doke. You can't tell me that I'm the problem because you feel uncomfortable with a black man that you can't silence and you can't control. Because that's what it is. All right, let me see who this is in the space with all these zeros. Let me see if it's a troll or if it's somebody who really wants to say something.
Yeah, you're fucking retarded.
Yeah, your mammy's retarded, okay? I knew it was a troll. You mad? You mad? Quadruple zero? He's still on. You mad. Oh, Billy mad. Y'all, Billy's upset that he ran into a black man he can't silence. So that's why he's got to get on and say some curse words and you know, you turning red yet, Billy? Or you turning purple? What color are you turning? Because y'all called us colored, but we don't turn colors. What color you right now, Billy? You mad? You red? You sweating? Huh? I mean, don't sweat too hard, because, you know, sometimes when some of y'all get wet, y'all start smelling like wet dog. Billy mad, y'all. Billy upset. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781 is the number here. You still on, Billy? Y'all, Billy's still here. You know, it's funny when these super white social media trolls who are basically cowards. They're cowards who you notice if you go to any of my social media accounts, it says Talbert Swan. Okay? It has my name. It has my picture. I own my words. I'm big enough and I'm man enough to own whatever I say. But these non-melanated mayonnaise drippers are cowards. Basically, social media is now their white sheets. They've always been cowards. That's why they put white sheets on in the first place, to hide themselves. Now social media is their white sheet because they can get on Elon Musk's KKK channel and use a pseudonym, use a fake name, put up a picture of a dog or something like that. Use a fake picture, a fake name, and then they can get on and call you all kinds of niggers and other pejorative racial terms, and then they can jump on your Twitter space and cuss at you and stuff like that, and then you can't see or know who they really are because they're cowards. You're a coward, Billy. You're a coward. You're a chump. You're a punk. You're a coward. Okay? Show yourself, man. Own your words. Man up. Stop being a little boy. Little boys do that kind of stuff. Little boys point to somebody else. They do something and then blame somebody else for what they did. Own your stuff, Billy. Own your stuff. All right? 413-736-2781 is the number here. We see this depravity that continues to manifest itself today. Not with ropes and trees like yesteryear, but through the exaltation of men like Daniel Penny, because they embody the persistent entitlement to Black death. They love Daniel Penny because he represents who they are. Who they are. White supremacy in 2024 is less overt, but no less insidious. You see, the system that allowed Daniel Penny to walk free after murdering Neely is the same system that allowed white mobs to lynch Black men with impunity during the Jim Crow era. It's a system that is rooted in the devaluation of Black life, where violence against Black bodies continues to be excused, and as we saw on Saturday, continues to be celebrated. It is a staggering hypocrisy that America calls itself a nation where all men are created equal, yet they consistently demonstrate through action, through laws, through policies, through principles, that does not apply to Black people. And these conservatives and these white evangelicals in particular try to pretend that they are the torchbearers of all of these altruistic values. Yet they're the main ones who routinely defend, justify, and celebrate the violent deaths of Black people like Jordan Neely. How can folk who claim to be connected to God, who claim to cherish the of life, turn around and celebrate death when the victim is Black? It's not just simply hypocrisy. It's wickedness. It's moral depravity masquerading as virtue. And so when I say whiteness is an enduring demonic force of evil, that's an accurate statement. That's an accurate statement. Y'all, Billy's trying to get back in on the Twitter. I'm not letting you talk, Billy. You got nothing to say to us. You got nothing to say to. And why do you follow me? What? I'm confused because I don't go to social media and I don't follow any white supremacists. I don't go to their pages. I don't follow them. I don't comment on their stuff. I, I see that's the sickness of whiteness. They feel like they have to police us, they have to control us, so they create these accounts and then they go and they follow us around and they try to police us and get all in our comments and try to lecture us and all of that. Y'all are sick. It's the same thing they do out here. Same thing they do on the subways and in the schools and everything else, thinking that they can police black people. Why do you follow me if you don't agree with me? You don't get something out of my commentary. I don't follow y'all. I don't spend time rolling through social media, going to the pages of white supremacists and trying to debate them. And the way that y'all do that to black people is a sickness. That's some really sick, evil stuff. Y'all got some real sick, stalkerish kind of ways. That's why you do what you do. That's why y'all call the cops on black people who are just sitting in Starbucks, because y'all got some sick, stalkerish ways when it comes to black people. Just leave us the hell alone. Get up out of our business. Leave us alone. And y'all stop inviting them to the cookouts and stuff like that. We already got enough problem with them trying to stalk us on subways and at McDonald's and everywhere else. We don't need them stalking us at our own cookouts. I don't care how well they can do the Dougie and all that kind of stuff. Stop inviting them. No more invites to the cookout. No more invites to the cookout. Because as soon as they murder one of y'all, they're going to get an invite from Trump to go to the Army-Navy game. Yeah, Billy mad. Billy Bob is mad. You mad as heck, ain't you, Billy Bob? You mad, huh, Billy Bob? Woo! Billy Bob mad. Oh my goodness. 3 minutes left in the program. Listen, tune in on Friday. I'll be back on the Black Love Experience. And if you're looking for a place to worship, you can check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. We're at 35 Bishop Talbert Swan Way, 35 Alden Street, Bishop Talbert Swan Way. Would love to have you as our special guest in the sanctuary. 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday, prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives. Today, few things coming up. You can meet us on Watch Night, December 31st, our Watch Night celebration. A number of churches will be coming together at the Deliverance Center Ministries, Church of God in Christ, 336 Springfield Street, Spring of Hope Church, Deliverance Center, Whole Truth Temple Church, Holy Trinity Church. I know Pastor Mark Bayman Jr. and his congregation will be with it. There'll be a number of churches. We're all coming together on that night for our Watch Night celebration. So you want to be a part of that if you're anywhere in the 413 area. Again, go ahead and grab, click the link in my bio and read the piece that I wrote about this depravity of America. See, if America was truly the bastion of freedom and equality that it claims to be, there would be national outrage about Daniel Penny's acquittal and not celebration over Jordan Neely's death. If America truly valued life. Its leaders would mourn the loss of yet another black man to the violence of systemic racism. But instead, America in 2024 is not far removed from 100 years in the past. It's still a nation where white supremacy dictates whose lives matter, whose deaths are mourned, and whose murders are cheered. And that's a sad state of affairs for where we are today. And I'm telling y'all, these next 4 years, I don't think it's going to get any better. Bye-bye, Billy. I got to go, Billy. Got to go. I got to sign off now, Billy. So you just go on and be mad for the rest of the day, Billy boy. Be upset. Billy follows me, man. It's real crazy. It's real crazy. But, it is what it is. Anyway, I got to do something with this granddaughter. She, 13-year-olds, man. I mean, she just in here dropping her phone, trying to do TikToks, making all kinds of noise while I'm on the radio, like she don't know I'm on the radio. Boy, kids today, man. I'm telling you, kids today. I don't know what's wrong with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I got to get out your way. Coming up next at 10 o'clock is mid-morning jazz and great black music. Want y'all to keep it locked right there. Yeah, there she is. What you gonna do with him? What you gonna do with him? I don't know. Anyway, check me out on Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. on the Black Love Experience. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Peace and blessings.
Yeah. This one is for all the brothers that passed, but more particularly one because it affected me drastically. I remember my sister gave me the call and I was in all matter.
Bye, Billy.
Farthest from reality. She seen somebody post RIP with his name, and I said I doubt it's the same friend I had since the 7th grade.
Hey, Billy, you mad?
Call his sister and double check it. Called me back, said he hanged himself in his room and had been there.
Billy, you mad, Billy? You mad, Billy? You the one got on cussing. You mad, Billy? You mad, Billy?
I'm not ashamed to say I shedded plenty tears, but it was hard. He was somebody I had plenty memories with. The first person I ever burned any trees with. The worst feeling is knowing that you would leave us and all this grievance without a reason. You're not the first people to ever believe in me. When it came down to it, you knew you could call me if you needed me. Cause that information I wouldn't have ever imagined. It's sad thinking about it. I ain't happy that it happened, but it made me. There was plenty times when I thought that it would drive me crazy. But looking back.